Hi, and welcome to the Brisbane Professionals Podcast. This is a podcast brought to you by SMS Law, going through the legal secrets that will benefit you and your clients, as well as having a little bit of fun as we go. This podcast is designed to educate you on, number one, complicated legal terms that we will explain in an easy to understand manner. Two, to understand why you do things from a legal perspective in your business. And three, to help you develop a plan for the future success of your business. Our mission is to help empower small to medium-sized businesses around the world to get access to legal advice so that they can help build their communities and make the world a better place. Did you know that any business owner is on average 7 months away from losing everything? That is the average time that it takes from a successful business to fold when an aspect of their business is not set up correctly. This podcast is all about empowering you and your business with knowledge and tools to ensure that that doesn't happen to you or to your clients. Let's begin, shall we?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Brisbane Professional Podcast. I am Craig Mason from SMS Law, and I have with me Jeremy from SMS Law. Say hello to everyone, please, Jeremy.
Hello, everyone. I hope they're having a great day.
See the hesitation there. I was going to say something else. And
well, our regular listeners would know that you like to throw things at me. So I was in anticipation waiting for
it. Maybe that was the thing I was throwing at you. The pause, the fake pause. Anyway, for today's show, we're looking at choosing new business premises. So before you secure a new premise, there's a number of important things you need to consider. And we're going to share with you some of those today. So Jeremy, what are we doing? What should we consider?
So the first thing you need to consider is whether you're going to buy or lease the new premises. So if you're going to buy it, great. Then you've got to think about what entity are you going to buy it in. And if you're going to lease it, then it's usually just in the business that you're operating from. Although there are some situations where that might change. So really, are you buying or leasing? Then you've got to decide where it is that you're going. And what are you doing? Are you going to be moving your whole business into that premises, or are you going to be expanding? And the reason that's important is probably obvious, and that's that there's going to be different things that are necessary, whether or not you're moving the whole premises, or if you're expanding, you need to make sure that your systems and processes are in place to ensure that when you expand, your problems aren't multiplied. So you really want to think about, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Are you buying or leasing? And if you are buying, what is it that you're going to do? So I think they're the main things you need to consider before looking at a business premises. And then, Craig, do you want to talk about a bit about the advantages and disadvantages of changing a premises?
Yeah, absolutely. So some advantages could be moving into a different area opens yourself up to new customers, more space, those sorts of things. If you're buying premises and then leasing it back to you, for instance, then there might be benefits to the business from that, from tax point of view and those sorts of things. So there'd be a fair few advantages to it, and you've obviously looked at it. You need to do it for whatever reason. So plenty of advantages. In terms of disadvantages, it could be the cost as well, as may go up. You're moving potentially, so your brand may be, your customers may not find you, for instance. So there could be a disadvantage there. So there's definitely things to put in place when you're considering it. Also working out how you're actually going to tell everyone where you may now be, and the process for that to ensure that you're easy to find and your customers come back if you've got a shop front, for instance. So plenty of advantages. Disadvantages you would have already considered, and those things can be overcome in most instances by putting some thought into it and getting a process together. So what's the other question we had about expanding?
So the other question was just around, what do you need to consider if you do want to expand? So, you really want to think about this concept of problems multiplied. And we know this from when we expanded, Greg, when we expanded from one office in Morningside and had the second office in Caboolture. Actually, it was the other way around. We had the first office in Caboolture that expanded to Morningside, I should say. And we had a system, a filing system that was all on a server. And that was just really slow. So you got to think about things like the internet, and it was really slow because everyone was trying to log into it. So you got to think about the internet speeds, how everything is stored, things like having everything on the cloud rather than a server, are really important. How your team's going to communicate between different premises. So what phone systems have you got? How does everything come together around the new premises? And thinking about things like telling everyone about the different premises are all really important things to consider when you're expanding a new premises. A long list, but they're the most important things that I see for that. I don't know whether you've got anything else, Craig, that comes to mind.
Yeah, no, I think that covers everything that I could really think of. You know, exciting times, but definitely some things you need to put in place. Don't just do it for the sake of it. We had a pretty comprehensive plan as to what we were doing and we were expanding, and tick all those things off, like with anything. So, and then the final thing for today, and something that we talk about a lot for obvious reasons, is when should you be looking at getting legal advice when it comes to this? So before you sign something would be the general rule here. So if you were leasing, obviously before you sign the lease, and if you were buying premises, then before you sign the contract, and well before that, you want to be getting legal advice about the sorts of things that you need to be considering going into the lease or into the purchase. So seek that advice early as you can, and get the advisor involved along the way, and not just legal advice either. It's definitely somewhere where you should be getting financial advice through your accountant. So get the team together and get that advice, because it's a big commitment. You're leasing something or buying something that you may need to be there for the next 5-10 years. So pretty important. All right, Jeremy, anything else with new business premises that you wanted to add before we sign off?
I think we've covered it all. Just make sure that you're getting advice not only from your lawyer, but any other business advisors you've got, because there's plenty of people who have made the mistakes that you're going to make, and so you want to talk to as many people as you can to try and avoid those mistakes as you're going, because it'll make the process a lot easier.
Good advice. All right, that is it for us for the latest installment of the Brisbane Professionals podcast about securing a new premise. Thank you for joining us. And if you do have an opportunity to rate and review the podcast so other people can see your wonderful review and your kind words, and then also subscribe to the podcast so we get more listeners and more engagement in this community. Flowing to that, please like the SMS Law Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, search for us on LinkedIn. We do share other information throughout the time in between podcasts, updates or various other things that's happening in the professional community. So please get involved. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.